Hello friends. Yeah, welcome to Creative Ends International. Thank you for being here. Today I'm making a video on this cap. Yeah, it's made with um scuba. I don't know, it's polo material, of course. Um so I'm using scuba, and I believe just 1 yard of scuba is enough for this project. All right, so because you see that the cap is standing, we have to make it stand. If you use just the scuba without any support system, it will collapse. It will not be able to stand, except it's those very thick scuba. All right, but and those type of very thick scubas are no longer found in our market. I don't know, but somehow we make this with the support that we would be given. So to support it, I used Chestwarden. You can use breast tube. Breast tube is strong and can also stand. So straight away, the length of the Chestwarden I used is 26 inches by 8, which means the height, how high it will be, is 8 inches, and then the length is 26, so that it will allow to go around the head comfortably, and then you can like cut out the excessive ones. So the scuba fabric I'm using is about 60 inches long, so 60 by 28. Remember, the length of this is 26, and then the scuba is 28 by 60. I just want a situation where I can have the scuba a little bit extra to the left, a little bit extra to the right. Okay, so that's what I did. And then I also started by folding out a certain portion of the scuba, like you are seeing there now. Right, so we fold it out, just say like on a fold 5 inches, so you can see that I did not push the the Chestwarden completely in. You understand? Just into a point, and then I'm going to top stitch that particular portion where I just pass in the Chestwarden now, and then folded the fabric on top of it. So I will top stitch that place for a start. The reason is that that is going to be our base, and the base is going to be a foldable base. That is something you can fold. You can fold it in and out. So that's the reason we are not going to be taking the scuba far in. The Chestwarden, I keep saying scuba, that's why we are not pushing the Chestwarden far in. We just lay it at a point where we can just top stitch it as a way of attaching it to the base. And then after doing that, I would be creating the pleat on the top of the scuba. So why am I always saying scuba? I'm going to create the pleat on top of the Chestwarden. I will use the scuba to create the pleat on top of the Chestwarden. So I just first of all used pin. All right, so we turn it over like this. So after you finish top stitching, you are expected to turn it over like this, and this is what I'm saying, ability to fold it easily, all right, without any form of obstruction. All right, so we are going to pleat on top of the Chestwarden, and every pleat that we would be making is going to end on top of the Chestwarden. Okay, so your pleat is not expected to go beyond the Chestwarden, which we already established the fact that it was 8 inches. So it means that your pleat shouldn't go above that 8 inches. All right, so the whole of this scuba is about 60 inches. Remember, we're already folding some portion, so that's why. And of course, 60 inches is the full length of the scuba, so it is just the full length of the material I used without having to reduce anything from it. So your pleat can be closed and it might not really be closed depending on the length of fabric that you have, because it's not every fabric that is up to 60 inches long. So depending on the length of fabric, you might not really have the opportunity of making your pleat so close. But if you still insist that you want your pleat to really be close, then you will need to add to the back of the fabric so that you can get that 60 inches. Okay, so we are going to pleat. This pleating, I'm just showing you how I would be folding it, but I would take it to the sewing machine and then sew and come back and then show you what I got after sewing. All right, so we'll sew it line by line, one by one, and if we have anything extra, of course we'll cut it out and just use that length of 8 inches. I don't know how high you might want your own, but with the length I used, if you used above 8 inches, it might just be too high. So, and you don't want that, to happen. So that's it, you are just going to be using 8 inches. So right now I am done pleating and sewing every part. So you can see all the top stitching, and you can see that at the back I already have some of this fabric that is excess, and of course I'm going to cut it out. Okay, so you can see the base I left. Okay, the base I left is about 5 inches. 5 inches. The base is about 5 inches. So by the time we can fold it and all of that, 5 inches on a fold, remember it is folded, so it is 10 inches when you are not folding. So all we need to do now is, since we are done with our pleating and all we need to do, we'll just take the size of the head. Remember that this is scuba, and scuba is a stretchy kind of material. So since it is stretchy and the head circumference is usually between 22 to 24, that is for the very big size. If not, I normally work with 22. So when you are working with 22, you just sew it close using 10.5, because it needs to be fitted on that head. It has to be fitted, so 10.5, then you close. So when you close, you can extend the back a little above 10.5, but that main base must be 10.5. So we just bring it, open it up, and cut the circle that can fit into it using the Chestwarden. After that, we cut the different fabric that we want to use to cover it. So we are going to cover the top with the circle, and then we are going to wrap the body with this silver material. So wrapping of the body, I just want to emphasize that you mustn't use a different fabric. All right, but I did because I want you to understand what I am doing. I don't want you to watch this video and you don't understand what I'm doing, so that's why I had to use a separate material to wrap it. All right, so we're just going to cut a fabric that can size and not too small, a fabric that can size it. Once it's small, it's going to hinder the opening of your cap. So it's going to restrict it, it's going to form a curve, it's going to make it to have a fold, and it's not going to be smooth. So your material that you are cutting must be a little bit bigger than your cap. So your cap maybe on a fold is say 12, the material should be like 13, so that it will be bigger than the cap and it can give access for the cap to freely open and it will not cause any form of restriction. All right, so that's for that. So we sew it, fix it on it, and then we close the circle. I have done that, and when I was done, I had to weave. So you can see that the back is neat. I weaved it. So after doing that, I come to the, because this part you cannot sew it anymore. All right, you can't sew it because you are done sewing the cap. Any attempt to sew it is going to bring out a kind of stitch that you will not like on the cap. So what we need to do is just to glue. So we can use hot glue, you can use liquid glue. All right, but I'm working with hot glue. All right, so you can use liquid glue. You just glue it around the cap, okay, because your work has to be neat, your finishing has to be neat. Okay, so we're just going to use hot glue right away and glue it all over. And as I am going to glue, I'll be folding in the material. So like when you hem, all right, so we fold in some part of the material to have a neat finishing. There is no need gluing it without folding, and then maybe you are considering putting embellishment on it, you know. I don't think there is need for that. But assuming you make the mistake of not folding in, and then the edges happen to be wrong, the edges happen to be rough, you can just go ahead and then use your trimming, or use Peter's charm, or you can use you can just cover with anything that you think is good. But I really think it will be better if you avoid that. Just fold it. You can see that when I folded, it's very neat and it's okay, because anything you are doing can cause another kind of restriction to this cap. It can hinder the ability of the elasticity, that is, can hinder it from really like pulling freely. So you don't want to do anything that will spoil all the stress you've gone through. So please just fold that material. And again, like I said, you can use the same fabric inside. I deliberately used a different fabric because I was trying to show you what you need to do, and so that you can do it correctly. So you can use a same fabric inside. So it means that I can use this sea green scuba inside if I so wish to. Okay, so that is it for today's tutorial. Thank you so much for stopping by Creative Ends International. Right now, this is the cap. All I need to do is just add a little bit of embellishment of choice, and your embellishment has to do with your taste. What you like is what you fix in. As for me, I decided to just fix in a gold embellishment to just like give it a finer touch, a finer definition of the cap, and so that I can really, like you can see, is well interpreted, is beautiful, and everything is well. Look at the inside, is well covered, there is no rough part of it showing, and you can just rock it with any native gown and all of that. I don't really think this will go well on English wear, but on native, yeah, it's perfect. All right, so do have a nice day. If today is your first time, do not forget to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to share our link. Don't forget to also recommend our video to other persons, and I'll see you in the next training. For now, it's bye from Creative Ends International. See you. Bye.